Welcome to another episode of our Cornerstone Lesson Review. Our lesson for this week is entitled Prayer Power, and this is for October 12, 2019. The scripture story comes to us from 1 Samuel 1 and chapter 2, verses 1 to 11. The commentary is taken from Patriarchs and Prophets, or the book Beginning of the End, chapters 55 and 58. Our key text: So in the course of time, Anna became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She named him Samuel, saying, "Because I have asked the Lord for him." 1 Samuel 1 verse 20. The flashlight says, Anna's prayer was granted. She received the gift for which she had so earnestly entreated. As she looked upon the child, she called him Samuel, asked of God. As soon as the little one was old enough to be separated from his mother, she fulfilled her vow. She loved her child with all the devotion of a mother's heart, but she had received him as a treasure consecrated to God, and she would not withhold him from the giver of his own. Patriarchs and Prophets, page 570 and 571. Let's look at Sabbath section of the lesson. It says, read Matthew 6, verse 5. And it says, "And when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by others. Truly I tell you, they will have their reward in full." In the What Do You Think section, you were asked true or false questions about yourself. Alright, so let's go to the What Do You Think section here. Here are the true and false questions. You have been mocked for not having certain things that others have. True or false? God answers your prayers every single time, although sometimes not in the ways you expect. It's a good one. God has spoken to you before, even if it hasn't been with a literal voice. You have heard his words in your heart. Final one. You have prayed to the Lord that he would grant you something, and he has given what you asked for. So again, in the What Do You Think section, you were asked true or false questions about yourself. Most of them were about prayer. Do you think that prayer has the same effect on everybody? Do you think God answers everyone's prayers differently? God answered Anna's prayer and gave her a child, but she also made a sacrifice by giving him back to God and letting him live in the tabernacle. Do you think you could give God something you cherish so much? Explain. This is an interesting point, in that Anna could so easily have said, "Boy, I don't know if I'll ever have another." But she made a commitment and she honored that commitment. And as a result, if we read the story, God honored her for that commitment. Try to see prayer in this perspective. If you had a friend who never gives of themselves to you, but expects you to give them your time, attention, and even things, how would that make you feel? It is the same with God. We can ask him for things, but we must also thank him and give of ourselves to him in return.